Welcome to the Scenic Route.
This is the route to your real life. You. Ha, 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 yeah. I've been walking my own road, learning truth I already knew. Real talk, real soul, every step's a soft life move. This is the scenic route where the heartbreak.
Today's topic is consistency isn't sexy. It's quiet, boring, and it works. Every time I started over, I felt ready. Like really ready. I was clear, focused, locked in, and for a minute it felt good. But it never lasted. And when that feeling faded, I didn't say, oh, motivation wore off. I said, here we go again. So this episode isn't about motivation. It's about what happens after the excitement leaves, when you still have to decide if you're staying. I want to tell you about something I created called the Intentional Pause. It's a digital journal designed for the moments when you know something is shifting, but you're not ready to rush clarity. There are no steps to follow, no goals to complete, just thoughtful prompts, gentle grounding lines, and space to reflect without pressure. If you've been feeling the urge to start over, this journal is an alternative, a place to pause, to stay. You can find it linked in the show notes. Let me say this real quick. We don't romanticize motivation because we're lazy. We romanticize it because it feels good. Motivation is exciting. It's cute. It gives you that little rush like, okay, yeah, this time it's different. And it makes change feel light, manageable, almost fun. Here's something I had to learn the hard way. Motivation isn't useless. It's just temporary. Motivation is great for starting. It's great for trying something new. It's great for getting you through the door. But motivation was never meant to be the thing you rely on long term. Think of motivation like momentum. It gets you moving. But consistency is what keeps you from rolling backward when that momentum slows down. The problem isn't that motivation fades. The problem is that we expect it to stay. So when it leaves, we panic. We assume something's wrong. And that's usually when we start over instead of staying put. Consistency doesn't do that. It's quiet. It doesn't clap for you. It doesn't hype you up. It doesn't check on your feelings. Consistency just looks at you like, all right, so we doing this today or not? Let me slow this down for a second, because I think this is where we get it wrong. We hear the word consistency and we immediately picture something rigid. Every day, same time, same energy, no excuses. And for a lot of people, especially women, that version of consistency feels impossible. Not because we're incapable, but because life is loud, it's layered, it's unpredictable. So instead of asking, can I do this perfectly? The better question is, how can consistency exist inside the life I already have? Because consistency doesn't always look like showing up every day. Sometimes consistency looks like returning. Sometimes it looks like adjusting. Sometimes it looks like not quitting when things get inconvenient. That still counts. And the problem is, most of us were never taught how to stay when nothing feels new without assuming something's wrong. I see this so clearly when I think about working out. I was trying to do everything, the abs, arms, glutes, legs, back, trying to get that body tight. I wanted results, immediate results, instant gratification. But I also wanted to enjoy going to the gym. And if I'm honest, I enjoyed the results way more than the process. When I missed a workout, the first thing I felt was instant relief, real relief. I was saying, thank God I don't have to do this today. And then right behind it came the guilt. So I started negotiating with myself. I was like, okay, next week, I'm going to start over, have a clean week. And then there were other times I'd say to myself, like, okay, the next time I go to the gym, I'm going to include this day and that day on, or I'll add an extra day in to make up for that one day I just lost. All this negotiating. Eventually, it made me hate going even more because I would have to take on more than I did had I gone. Eventually, I just stopped going. I was looking at how much time I missed and how much catching up I would have to do. I was so far behind. I would make these compromises with myself saying, okay, I can start working out at home. So what I'll do is on these days, I'll go to the gym. These days, I'll work out at home. You know what? I realized I had more motivation when I went to the gym because I was in an environment that supported what I wanted to do. At home, what am I doing? I'm being at home. So the problem wasn't the location. And this is where the fix starts to show up for me. I realized that consistency doesn't survive in environments that constantly work against you. If everything around you makes the thing harder to access, harder to enjoy, harder to repeat, you're going to burn out trying to be disciplined enough to push through that forever. That's not a character flaw. That's information. Consistency thrives when the environment supports the behavior, when it makes returning easier than quitting, when it doesn't punish you for being human. The problem wasn't anything else. It was me being consistent. I had this all or none thinking. It was, I need to be disciplined or I don't do it at all. I can't make the effort today and not tomorrow and do this and do that. It just didn't work. So all or none sounds like you're disciplined, but it's not. It's just the dramatics. You miss a day and then it goes into all this extra. But it doesn't have to. Just because you didn't go today, you just missed today. Missing a day doesn't mean you messed up anything. It's when you quit. I want to say this clearly because somebody needs to hear it. Missing a day didn't make you inconsistent. Missing a week didn't erase your progress. Needing a break didn't mean you failed. What breaks consistency isn't pauses. It's the story we tell ourselves after the pause. The moment you say, well, I already messed it up, that's when consistency actually stops. Not because you missed a day, but because you decided the day defined you. All or nothing teaches us that if we do something perfectly, we did it right. And that's how we end up stuck, starting, stopping, starting again, and feeling worse about ourselves every time. What changed everything for me was learning to ride my scooter. When I first started, I was scared all the time. Not a little nervous, but scared. I'd watch my husband ride like it was nothing, and I'm over here scared of wind, corners, and U-turns. I would ride, but if things got too intense or I felt pushed past my limits, I'd stop. I'd avoid it. I made excuses not to go. See, here's the part that matters. When I was learning to ride the scooter, I wasn't motivated every time. Sometimes I was nervous, sometimes I was annoyed, and sometimes I just didn't feel like it. But I had already used motivation for what it was good for, starting. After that, I leaned on consistency in smaller ways. I didn't have to have a perfect ride every day. I just rode my ride. I didn't force myself to go longer. I didn't compete with anyone else. I just showed up enough times for my body and my confidence to catch up with each other. That's when consistency stopped feeling like punishment and it started feeling like trust. But I got tired of missing those days because when I wasn't terrified, it was actually fun. My husband pushed me to take a class, and that's when everything changed. I still remember the instructors, Scott and Ed, saying, ride your ride. Don't do more than you can do. Focus on your ability. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Once I understood the dynamics, once things actually made sense, I started going faster and leaning more. And I didn't want to stop riding. Anytime fear showed up, I'd tell myself, ride your ride. And here's what really got me. With working out, one missed day felt like failure. With a scooter, a missed day was just a missed day. See, that's when it clicked for me. Consistency worked with the scooter because I stopped tying it to performance. I stopped needing it to prove anything. I let it be boring. I let it be uneven. I let it be mine. And once I did that, staying wasn't heroic anymore. It was just the next logical choice. The difference wasn't motivation, it was permission. Permission to learn slowly, permission to come back without shame, permission to stay. We talk about success like it happens in a big moment, like game day. But nobody wins on game day because they feel motivated that morning. They win because of the training, the boring, repetitive work that's happened slowly before anybody was watching. As my husband says, warriors aren't made in battle, they're made in preparation. Motivation shows up for the performance. Consistency shows up for the training. And consistency isn't sexy. It's quiet. It's boring. And it works. Women don't give up on themselves loudly. We just move ourselves to the bottom of the list. And everybody else gets our energy. And we tell ourselves we'll circle back later. But later turns into never real quick. I don't want you feeling guilty about missed days or ashamed because you're not where you think you should be. I want you to be true, genuine, authentic. Show up for yourself because you need it and because you deserve it. Make it about the journey. Find ways to enjoy the journey. Pick up a passenger if you need support, but make the drive. So, if you're listening to this and thinking, I want to be consistent, but I don't know how, start here. Use motivation to begin, but don't ask it to carry you. Build consistency around your actual life, not an ideal version of you. Let it be flexible. Let it be quiet. Let it be imperfect. And when you miss a day, don't reset your whole life. Just come back. So the question isn't, are you motivated? It's this. Can you stay when it's not exciting anymore? Because staying is where the confidence gets built. Staying is where trust gets built. I want to pause for a second. I created a free newsletter called Checkpoints as a companion to the podcast. It's meant to be a place where you can slow down, reflect honestly, and check in with yourself without pressure to fix or rush anything. Each issue includes reflective notes and prompts that help you sit with what this episode has opened up for you and notice where you are in this season of your life. I believe this kind of intentional pause can be really grounding, especially when everything feels loud or demanding. If you'd like to receive checkpoints, the link is in the show notes. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need endless motivation. You just need something simple enough to return to. Consistency isn't about doing everything right. It's not about disappearing when it gets dull. So if all you can do is show up imperfectly, that still counts. Let boring build you. Let quiet carry you. I'm not starting over. I'm staying. And next week, we're talking about what happens when staying gets hard. And remember, you're on the route.
Life lessons, new blessings. Being real, being healed, being you. Yeah, welcome to this Reinvention crew.